Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day. This video is about the present perfect tense. It's part of a series which covers all 12 tenses. Learning about the present perfect can be very fascinating yet confusing. Try not to translate the present perfect into your native language because sometimes it doesn't translate perfectly. Just try to think in English and think in present perfect. The basic structure for positive sentences in present perfect is subject, has or have, and then the main verb. And the form of the main verb will be the past participle. Let's look at some examples. I have written a letter. She has taught a class. They have bought a car. It has started raining. For negative sentences, it is subject, have or has, plus not, plus the main verb, still in the past participle. I haven't written a letter. She hasn't taught a class. They have bought a car. It has started raining. The structure for question sentences is a little bit different. It is have or has plus subject plus the main verb in the past participle form. Have I written a letter? Has she taught a class? Have they bought a car? Has it started raining? The present perfect is a very important English tense, but it can be quite confusing for ESL learners because it uses concepts or ideas that do not exist in some other languages. Another general tip is to beware or be careful with contractions. Some contractions for present perfect and present simple look the same but have different meanings. For example, in the present simple, if I say, it's eaten, that means it is eaten. If I say, where is the cake? I say, oh, it's eaten, it's gone. But in the present perfect, it's eaten means it has eaten. Maybe if we're talking about our dog, we can say, my dog is not hungry, it's eaten. There are three main usages of the present perfect. First is to talk about experiences. So I have ran a marathon. Second is to talk about change. Sarah has moved to Thailand. Third is to talk about continuing situations. I have lived in Indonesia for 3 years, and I still live here. We use present perfect to talk about experience from the past. It has to have a connection with the present, though. For example, it is in my head or in my memory. We are not interested in when you did something, only if you did it. Here are some examples. They have seen a snake. We have lived in Singapore. She has made a cake. I have heard a ghost. So if I want to talk about my life experience using the present perfect, I can say, I've visited many countries in Asia. I've been to China and Thailand a few times. My wife has also been in Asia quite a lot. However, our son has never visited. Can you write 3 sentences using the present perfect to talk about your life experiences? I'll pause the video and let you do that now. Okay, I hope that you paused the video and wrote 3 sentences using the present perfect to talk about your life. The second usage of the present perfect is for change or recent events. We use present perfect to talk about change or new information. An action or state was not true in the past, but now it is true in the present. Here are some examples. They have arrested the killer. Has the price gone up? Has she broken her leg? I have bought a car. Recent events. Where's Jamie? I think she's gone to dinner, but she's been away for about 20 minutes. I know she's been to the library this afternoon. Please pause the video and try to write or say 2 sentences about something you have done this afternoon or this morning, and use the present perfect. Okay, I hope that you paused the video and wrote some sentences for practice. You could have said, I've eaten breakfast, or I've been to the park. The third basic usage of present perfect is to talk about continuing situations. So this means a state that started in the past and continues into the present. Often, it will probably continue into the future as well. We usually use for or since in these sentences. Here are some examples. Have they worked here since June? She has been a teacher for 2 months. I have known Joan since 2010. We have studied English for 2 years. My friend Janice has a number of hobbies. She's played guitar for more than 15 years. She's ran since she was a teenager. And she's practiced the Muay Thai boxing since 2015. Can you write 4 sentences describing your hobbies using the present perfect tense? Pause the video and do that now. Okay, I hope that you paused the video and wrote 4 sentences describing your hobbies using present perfect. You could have said, I've played guitar for 3 years, or I've studied Latin for 2 months. A very common question is, when do we use for and when do we use since? There's a pretty easy rule for this. We use for to talk about a period of time. For example, for 2 months, for 3 years, for 5 years. We use since to talk about a point of past time. Since 9 o'clock, since 2017, since August 1st. So, how long have I played guitar? I've played guitar for 3 years. Or, I've played guitar since 2018. An interesting fact is that Americans use the present perfect less than the British. So Americans might say, did you eat lunch? While the Britons might say, have you eaten lunch? So those are the basic rules for how to use the present perfect. If you would like to stick around and learn some more of the advanced rules, I think it will open your mind and let you know all the possibilities of this tense. We're going to talk about time expressions. Time expressions that refer to the present, such as this month, this morning, this year, or today, can be used with the present perfect. So, I haven't eaten breakfast this morning. She hasn't exercised this month. They have not drank alcohol this year. So if we think of this morning as a time expression that includes the present moment, we can use the present perfect. I haven't eaten breakfast this morning. It implies that it is still the morning when you are saying this. She hasn't exercised this month. It implies that we are still in this month. And they have not drank alcohol this year implies that we are still in this year. However, if we think of this morning as a past completed period of time, we use the past simple. I didn't eat this morning. That means the morning is over. She didn't exercise this month. That means the month is almost over or is over. They didn't drink alcohol this year. News reports. How many of you read the news? In news reports, past events are often introduced with the present perfect. You could see this headline, for example. The basketball star Ray Bork has decided to retire. To give details about the story, the past simple is used after the introduction. So really only the introduction will use the present perfect. Let's read a little bit of this news. The basketball star Ray Bork has decided to retire. He played for the Orlando Magic for 15 years. His decision came after months of deliberation. So you can see after the introduction, it switches into the past simple. In sentences which include a time clause with since, we should use the past simple in the time clause and the present perfect in the main clause. Let's look at the example. Since Richard Lafleur became president, taxes have decreased. The first part of the sentence includes since, and the second part, it has the present perfect. Since Richard Lafleur became president, taxes have decreased. We use the past simple in the time clause with since, and we use the present perfect in the main clause. Taxes have decreased. I haven't celebrated my birthday since my parents moved to Canada. I haven't celebrated my birthday. That's the main part of the sentence or the main clause. Since my parents moved to Canada. That's the time clause. In the time clause, which includes since, we use the past simple. In the main clause, we use the present perfect. If the two situations in the main clause and the time clause extend until the present, we can use the present perfect in both clauses. Have you played basketball since you have moved to Canada? Since I have stopped cooking, I haven't made my wife smile. Since we're using present perfect in both clauses or in both parts of the sentence, it implies that the situations both extend until the present moment. The next advanced rule. We usually use the present perfect after this is, it is, or that is. This will be the first time, it will be the first time, or that will be the first time. Here's some examples. That is the first time I have seen a moose. It will be the first time she has played tennis. This is the first time they haven't drank coffee in the morning since July. With time clauses introduced by after, when, until, as soon as, once, by the time, the present perfect refers to future events. It's kind of a mouthful. Let's look at some examples. After she has finished studying, we can go out for dinner. The time clause is introduced by after, and the present perfect, she has finished studying, is referring to a future event. So she has not finished studying yet. After she has finished studying, we can go out. When the rain has stopped, I will go for a run. I will go for a run in the future, when the rain has stopped. Until I have burned 200 calories, I will not stop exercising. The time clause is introduced by until. And then the present perfect, I have burned, refers to a future event. As soon as their money has run out, they will get started looking for a job. Once we have found the answer, we will call you. By the time they have returned from the store, the movie will be over. With the time expressions the minute, the second, and the moment, the present perfect also refers to future events. Try to find the time expressions in these sentences. We can go out for dinner the minute she has finished studying. The minute is a time expression which is referring to some point in the future. It's an undefined point in the future. We don't really know exactly when she will finish studying. I will go out for a run the second the rain has stopped. When is the rain going to stop? We don't know. They will start looking for a job the moment their money has run out. When will their money run out? We don't know. But there is a time expression, the moment their money has run out, referring to the future. We use the present perfect with verbs that describe unchanging states. Belong, know, dislike, understand. I haven't belonged to this group for very long. She has known about the problem for a week. They have disliked me since I met them. We haven't understood your request. So here, we use the present perfect with verbs that describe unchanging states. When we talk about the result of a circumstance or activity, we use the present perfect. For example, my income has decreased by 10% since 2020. I have tried 3 different diets and none of them worked. However, when we focus on the process, we use the present perfect continuous. My income has been decreasing recently. I have been trying different diets to see what works. So what's the difference between these two sentences, these two pairs of sentences? My income has decreased by 10% since 2020. My income has been decreasing recently. When we use the present perfect, it means we focus on the result. When we use the present perfect continuous, it means we're focused on the process. The present perfect suggests that an activity happened only once or a specified number of occasions. She has kicked the ball 15 times today. Have you played basketball 5 times this week? The present perfect continuous emphasizes that an activity is ongoing or repeated. He has been kicking the ball all day. Have you been playing basketball a lot this week? That is the end of the advanced rules for the present perfect. We're going to do a quiz to test your understanding. This is multiple choice. The answer is, have you belonged to this group for long? Pause the video. The answer is, my friend's weight has increased since I last saw her. The answer is, after reviewing the contract, I have decided to accept the promotion. The answer is, if you have finished reading the document, please raise your hand. The answer is, I can help you. I have done this exercise before. This is fill in the blank. Please pause the video and put the verbs in the correct sentences. Okay, I hope that you paused the video and put the verbs in the correct sentences. I'll tell you the answers now. I don't understand what you're saying. Have you read the book? You can take my plate, please. I have eaten all my food. She looks dizzy. I guess she has drank too much. I don't like dogs because my neighbor's Doberman has hurt me many times. They told me that already. Thank you. The next exercise is composition. Get a piece of paper and write 5 sentences using the following verbs in the present perfect. If you don't want to write, you can speak out loud. Please pause the video and do this now. Okay, I hope that you were successful in your composition. And this is the end of our present perfect lesson. I hope that you learned something. Good luck studying.